So you get into a battle royale match and you die right away, or you start getting shot while you're still landing. This is the stuff that happens in COD Warzone. Now don't worry guys, because you're not alone. This happens to literally every single one of us. I start getting shot in the sky all the time, or you make it all the way to the final circle, but you can never come out on top. Guys, today I'm going to be sharing 6 of the best tips to win more gunfights and get more victories. What is up guys, my name is Nick and welcome back to another Modern Warfare, Call of Duty, Warzone, whatever you want to call it, Battle Royale. Today I'm going to be sharing 6 tips with you guys in order to do a lot better, win more gunfights, and all that kind of stuff. Now these are 6 of the best tips to win all of these Warzone matches, and I'm going to share all of that with you. Now before we get into the video, if you guys could drop a like, that would be amazing. I'm going to go for 1,146 likes to this video. If we could hit that, that would be mind-blowing. Guys, we're so close to 525,000 subscribers. So if you're new around here, this is one of the first videos you've ever seen, or you watch me all the time and never subscribed, I would truly appreciate if you did with those notifications turned on. And let me know down in the comments below, how many wins do you guys have in Warzone? Even if it's 0, don't worry about it. Come back in a week, check out the comments, and see if you've done a lot better. Now let's get into these 6 tips, and I'm going to go in order from 6 to 1, and these are going to help you guys a lot. Now the first one I want to talk about is positioning. Positioning in this game is super important. You want to make sure that you always get the high ground on the enemies. This doesn't only help you get the kills a lot faster, but it also helps because you're going to be a much harder target to hit. If the enemies are looking up at you from all the way on the bottom, they may only see your head, while you guys can see their entire body like crazy. But you also want to make sure that you stay close to objects that you can literally hide behind if stuff gets too wild. So like a tree, if you have to get behind there to heal, maybe a car, maybe anything, literally anything that you could get yourself behind if stuff gets too crazy. But the best positioning in this game is probably on top of buildings, on top of mountains, and literally anything like that. If you guys could head glitch and all that kind of stuff as well, that's even better for you. And that's why you probably see a lot of people on top of buildings and whatnot, and it really does help out a lot. So make sure you guys always try to get the higher ground on the enemies. Now that's not the only thing. I have to say kill streaks are kind of useless in this, and this brings us to tip number 5. The kill streaks kind of suck. You might call in some missiles and stuff and you won't even get a kill. So what I like to do, and this is probably the most important thing, is to only buy a UAV. And if you guys have enough money to buy 2 of them, buy one, call it in right away, and then buy another one and hold on to that other one. If all 3 of your teammates have a UAV up at the exact same time, you don't just get a UAV, you get an advanced UAV that shows you everywhere the enemies are at all times and what direction they're looking or walking in. So that really helps out a lot. It puts an arrow on the minimap and you literally see where every single one is. If they're all looking at you, if they're looking the opposite direction, and if they are looking at the opposite direction, that's even better because you guys can sneak up behind them and easily take them out. So I would really suggest that you and your squad, every single one of you, get a UAV and call it in at the exact same time, especially in the final circle. It helps out a lot. Going down to tip number 4, I want to talk about this, and I do talk about sensitivity a lot, and this one has to do with it. And you might want to lower your sensitivity to help control those longer long shots, and that really does help a lot. You really don't turn on people much within this game mode. You're not going to be in a gunfight and then you have to turn around within a millisecond or else you're dead. The good thing about this game mode is it takes a while to die, so even if enemies are behind you, you don't have to turn super fast. So if you play on maybe a 18 sensitivity, try turning it down to 15. If you play on a 10, try putting it down to a 7 or an 8. If you play on a 2, I don't know what to tell you. I don't even know how you move around in the game, but good for you. But seriously, turning on people isn't as important. You want your sensitivity to be more controllable. You want to win those gunfights that become head-on. You get into a lot of gunfights head-on, and guys, if you get more control in these gunfights, especially at the longer distances, you're going to be hitting the enemies a lot more, rather than shooting and missing half your clip and then he hits you with a sniper. So make sure to lower that sensitivity. But let's go down to tip number 3, because this is one that I also want to talk about a lot, and this one really does help. Now, I'm going to show you guys a game clip in the background that you should watch here that I do exactly what I'm saying within this tip. So when you see the enemies have the height advantage, let's say they're on the top of the roof, like within this clip right here, what you want to do is get your teammates to distract them. Get 2 of your teammates to stay facing them somewhere else. Let them start shooting at your teammates. Get your teammates to like just shoot back and stuff, just to keep the distraction going and all that kind of stuff. And then what you do in the meanwhile is you sneak up to them. You sneak up the building, you get up behind them, and you could easily take them out. So you guys can see what I'm doing right here. I'm going up the stairs, and I easily take these dudes out. And what I like, or the ladder, I should say. And what I like doing this, why I like doing this, is because they don't expect it. They can't hear you. They're shooting their guns and stuff, so they won't hear you coming. They see people in front of them. That's where their focus is at. Their focus is only on the people in front of them, and then they just get completely distracted, and you just get them all from behind. Now, I almost died here. I will admit it. Thank God I used that wall to my advantage. Like I said, always have something to hide behind if stuff gets too wild, and it really did help out a lot. And we got the kills, and then we got the heck out of there. So guys, make sure that you do that. Make sure that you have at least one person who's very good at sneaking up behind people, and that's going to help you win a lot more gunfights, especially as the circle gets smaller. Now, another one that I want to talk about, and I've spoken about this for multiplayer, but I feel like it transitions so well to this game mode right here, this tip, but you always want to aim for the upper chest or the neck. And the reason this is so important, first off, the chest is the biggest part on the enemy body. It's bigger than the legs, it's bigger than the arms, and it's bigger than the head. So it's the easiest target to hit, and it does a lot of damage. It does the second most damage besides headshots. And the reason you want to aim there is, let's say your gun does start to sway, let's say your gun does start to kick up and stuff, you won't be missing those bullets. If you're shooting at the arm and your gun sways, you're going to miss bullets because it's such a hard target. If you're aiming at the chest, you're going to be hitting those shots and doing a lot of damage, and it's even better if the enemy starts to actually shoot back at you. And the reason it's better if the enemy shoots back at you is because he's going to force your gun to kick higher, meaning that if you're aiming already at the neck or the chest and your gun kicks up just a few inches, you're going to hit him directly in the head. So he's essentially doing you a huge favor. He's shooting you, forcing you to actually shoot him in the head and drop him a lot faster. So that's really important. Always aim for the chest, always aim for the neck, and you guys are going to be dropping people like crazy. Now, I want to talk about the last tip here, and this one a lot of you guys might disagree with, but I'm going to give you guys some reasons why it's really good. And you want to always land in the hot zones. Hot zones, for example, are where literally a lot of people like to land. Let's say you're on the plane and it's one of the first spots, everyone's going there. And the reason you want to land there is not just so that you guys could get a lot of stuff and whatnot, but you actually want to land there so you could practice getting into gunfights if you're not that good. And if you are good and you don't need to practice, it might not sound smart, but if you guys can make it out of there alive, if you can make it out of the hot zone alive, killing just a few people on the way, first off, you're going to get a lot of loot that they drop. Secondly, you're going to get a bunch of money, allowing you guys to purchase weapon loadouts or anything like that. You guys could purchase all your UAVs, you guys could do all that stuff. You could get contracts and whatnot that you pick off the ground. And I love the bounty contracts because it shows you exactly where the enemies are, and then you could even get more kills and whatnot. Just try not to get a contract on yourself. Every time someone gets a contract on you, take a vehicle and get the hell out of there. They know where you're at. They're always going to see where you're at, and you could only see if they're getting hotter or colder. So make sure that if somebody does call a bounty on you, get the heck out of there as fast as you can. Now, speaking of weapon loadouts, the drop kits and all that kind of stuff, I don't recommend buying that. And the reason I don't recommend buying that, unless you're really in a pickle and you need to get one, I never said pickle since like years, I don't know. Anyways, that's weird, I just thought of it. But yeah, if you really need to buy one, go for it. But guys, use your money on UAVs instead. Get some self-revive, get some armor if you don't have any, and trust me, you're gonna receive a free weapon loadout, drop kit, all that kind of stuff before this circle even closes. Before the first circle even closes completely, you guys will receive one for free. So I don't get why people buy one right away, because you're gonna get one nonetheless. Either way, you're getting one. So I mean, do it if you gotta do it, but don't waste $6,000 on that. That is insane, and it's just a waste. You save that money if you gotta revive a player, if you gotta bring a player back to life. Use it on those UAVs. Share it with your teammates so they could get UAVs as well. Get bullets, get ammo crates, and all that kind of stuff. That is a lot better. And the only things I recommend buying in this game mode, like I said, UAVs is probably first. You definitely want that. Self-revive and ammo kits and armor if you don't have any whatsoever. That is what I recommend you guys actually go and spend your in-game currency on, because you don't want to get those streaks that don't do any damage. Like I can't tell you how many times I've called in missiles and I've missed every single time, or the enemy calls it on me and they miss every single time. You gotta be like completely accurate with those things. Otherwise, it's just a waste. But that's gonna be it for the video today, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. Like I said at the beginning of this video, if we could go for 1,126 likes, I think that's the number I said. I honestly can't remember, but we're gonna go with that for now. That would be absolutely amazing if you guys could subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, if it's the first video you've ever seen, or if you've been here for a long time and never done it. I would truly appreciate that with those notifications turned on. And let me know down in the comments below how many wins you guys have. I mean, this should have been a win right here. I don't know how the heck I died, but yeah, stuff happens. Anyways, thanks for watching. My name is Nick, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.